There was one angel who stood closer to God than any other living being in existence. His beauty could blind you. His voice could shatter mountains. And his pride would break heaven itself. This is the story of how the most perfect being ever created became the most evil force in the universe. Long before the earth spun on its axis, long before humans took their first breath, before anything you know existed, there was only heaven. Pure, perfect, eternal. And in that heaven, standing at the very throne of God, was an angel unlike any other. His name was Lucifer, the light bringer, the morning star, the chosen one. He wasn't just another angel in heaven's choir. He wasn't just a messenger running errands between realms. No, Lucifer held a position so high, so sacred, that no other angel could even dream of reaching it. He was the Covering Cherub, God's personal guardian. Think about that for a moment. Out of millions of angels, God chose him to stand at the throne, to guard the most holy place in all existence. His body wasn't just covered in skin or feathers like you might imagine. 9 precious stones adorned his being. Sardius that burned like frozen fire, topaz that glowed with golden light, diamond that split God's glory into 1,000 colors, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, carbuncle. Each stone pulsed with divine energy, reflecting the glory of God like living mirrors. When Lucifer moved, light danced around him. When he spoke, reality itself seemed to listen. But his greatest gift wasn't his appearance, it was his voice. God created Lucifer to be heaven's worship leader, the conductor of celestial praise, the one who would lead billions of angels in songs that made the stars tremble. His voice could make you feel emotions that don't even have names. Joy so intense it felt like pain. Peace so deep you could drown in it. When Lucifer sang, everything stopped. Angels would freeze mid-flight just to hear a single note. The heavens themselves would go silent, holding their breath, waiting for the next phrase. He was flawless. 0 defects, 0 mistakes. Perfection walking on 2 feet. Every angel in heaven knew his name. When he passed by, they would bow. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Even Michael, the mighty warrior angel, would step aside when Lucifer approached the throne. Even Gabriel, God's chief messenger, spoke his name with reverence. Lucifer was the favorite, the special one, the angel that made other angels feel inadequate just by existing. But here's the thing about standing that close to unlimited power. Here's what happens when you spend every single moment near the source of all authority. You start to forget something important. You start to forget that the power isn't yours. Day after day, Lucifer stood at that throne. Day after day, he led the worship. Day after day, he watched angels bow. But they weren't bowing to him. They were bowing past him, to someone else. And slowly, like poison dripping into pure water, a question began to form in Lucifer's mind. A question that had never been asked before. A question so dangerous that asking it would crack the foundations of heaven itself. Why am I bowing? Look at me, he thought. Look at my beauty. Listen to my voice. See how the others respect me. I'm perfect. So why do I serve? He looked at his reflection in heaven's crystal sea one day, and what he saw stopped him cold. His own glory shining back at him. His own magnificence. His own perfection. And for the first time in all of eternity, Lucifer felt something new, something that had never existed before. Pride, pure, toxic, deadly pride. It felt good, like waking up from a dream, like seeing clearly for the first time. He looked up at God's throne, and that old feeling of awe started to twist into something else, something darker. What if I didn't have to bow anymore? What if I could sit on that throne myself? The thought should have terrified him. It should have made him fall to his knees in repentance. Instead, it made him smile. The brightest angel in heaven had just discovered the darkest emotion in existence, and heaven would never be the same again. The moment that would shatter paradise came during an assembly. God called every single angel in heaven together, millions of them, packed into the throne room, wing to wing, wondering what could be so important. Lucifer stood at his usual place, right at the throne, confident as always. God's voice thundered through heaven. "I am going to create something new." The angels leaned forward. New? What could possibly be better than heaven? What could be more perfect than angels? "I will create humans, and I will make them in my image." Silence. Complete, absolute silence. The angels looked at each other confused. They weren't made in God's image. They were servants, tools, created beings with purpose but not identity. But these new things, these humans, would actually look like God, think like God, create like God. Then God spoke the words that would split heaven down the middle. "One day, my son will become one of them. He will be born as a human baby, and through him, humanity will rule over all creation. Even angels will serve them." Serve them? The words hit Lucifer like a lightning bolt to the chest. These creatures that didn't even exist yet. These things that would be made of dirt and water. He was supposed to serve them? The Covering Cherub? The Morning Star? The most beautiful being in existence? God wanted him to babysit mud dolls. Around him, angels began to sing, celebrating God's announcement, praising the wonderful plan. But Lucifer stood frozen. Inside his mind, a storm was building. Every thought was screaming, "No, no, 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 no. This is wrong. This is insane. Look at me. Look at me. I'm covered in jewels. I'm wrapped in light. My voice can shake the foundations of heaven. And you want me to bow to dirt?" Something inside him didn't just crack, it exploded. The pride that had been growing like a seed suddenly became a forest. Dark, twisted, choking out everything else. For the first time ever, Lucifer felt rage. Hot, consuming, powerful rage. And underneath the rage was something even more dangerous. Certainty. The certainty that he deserved better. The certainty that he was being cheated. The certainty that he could run heaven better than God himself. "I could do this better," he thought. "I'm smarter, more beautiful, more talented. Why should I spend eternity serving creatures made of clay when I could be the one receiving worship?" That's when the poison really took root. Lucifer smiled at the celebrating angels. He sang with them. He pretended to be happy. But inside, he was already planning, already scheming, already falling. The perfect angel had become heaven's first liar, and his lies were about to infect a third of heaven itself. You might think Lucifer gathered an army by force. You'd be wrong. He did something far more effective. He whispered. Lucifer understood something crucial. You can't just tell angels to rebel. They're too loyal, too pure, too connected to God's presence. But you can plant seeds of doubt. You can make them question. You can make them feel cheated. He didn't start with the powerful angels. That would be too risky, too obvious. He started with the forgotten ones, the angels who cleaned heaven's halls, the ones who stood guard at gates nobody visited, the ones whose names were never spoken in the throne room, the invisible ones. Lucifer would appear to them, glowing and magnificent, and say 7 simple words. "You deserve what God won't give." They'd look up, shocked that the morning star was talking to them. "I see you," Lucifer would whisper. "God doesn't even know your name, but I do." A little attention, a little validation, a little poison mixed with truth. Sweet enough to swallow, deadly enough to kill. "You're just as important as Michael," he'd say, "just as valuable as Gabriel. But they get the glory while you scrub floors. Is that fair?" The whispers spread like wildfire through heaven. Angels started meeting in secret. having conversations they'd never had before. Lucifer says we'll have our own kingdoms. Lucifer says we can be gods ourselves. Lucifer says God is hiding things from us. Michael noticed first. The warrior angel saw groups scatter when he approached, heard conversations stop mid-sentence. Something was poisoning heaven from the inside. He tried to warn others, but Lucifer had already planted the seeds. Of course, Michael is against us, the rebels would say. He's God's favorite. He wants to keep us down. Every angel had to make a choice, creator or creation, master or rebel, God or Lucifer. 1/3 chose Lucifer. Think about that. 1 out of every 3 angels looked at the God who gave them life, who gave them purpose, who gave them everything, and said, "We choose someone else." The moment of no return came when Lucifer marched straight to God's throne, not to worship, to demand. His voice rang through heaven like a war drum. "I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above God's stars. I will sit on the mount of assembly. I will be like the Most High." 5 I wills, 5 declarations of war. Heaven's peace shattered like glass hitting concrete. And then, war. Real, actual, cosmic war. "For the king!" God's armies roared. "For freedom!" the rebels screamed. Angels who had sung together now tried to destroy each other. Swords of pure light clashed against weapons forged from darkness. Wings that once danced through heaven now struck like hammers. The sound was unbearable, like the universe itself was being torn apart. Lucifer fought like a man possessed. His beauty twisted into something terrible. His light became burning darkness. Michael met him in the center of heaven, and their collision sent shockwaves through eternity. "Brother, stop!" Michael shouted. "I am not your brother," Lucifer screamed back. "I am your superior." But you can't beat God. You can't win against the one who created you. One by one, the rebels fell, their light fading, their beauty twisting, their wings burning. Lucifer ended up on his knees, defeated, his perfect face now ugly with rage and hate. God's voice boomed through heaven, and it wasn't angry. It was Zad. "Get out!" And they fell. 1/3 of heaven's angels plummeting through dimensions, through reality itself, falling, falling, falling into darkness. Lucifer, the light-bringer, became Satan, the accuser. The morning star became the prince of darkness. The covering cherub became the serpent. He hit earth like a meteor, and when he stood up, covered in dust and fury, he had a new target, a garden called Eden, and 2 humans who had absolutely no idea what was coming for them. Satan learned from his mistakes in heaven. He'd been too obvious there, too loud, too direct. This time he would be subtle, a surgeon with a scalpel instead of a warrior with a sword. Adam and Eve were perfect targets. They'd never heard a lie, never experienced death, never felt pain. They were like children who didn't know fire could burn. And Satan was about to become their teacher. He watched them for days, studying, learning their patterns, their habits, their weaknesses. Eve liked to walk alone near the tree of knowledge. Adam got distracted easily. They both trusted everything they encountered because nothing had ever hurt them before. Perfect. Satan took the form of a serpent, but not some scary snake. This was the most beautiful creature in Eden besides the humans themselves. It walked upright on legs. Its scales caught the light like diamonds. When it moved, it looked like a living rainbow sliding through the grass. He waited by the forbidden tree, patient, ready. Eve came by, humming to herself, admiring the fruit she could never taste. "Did God really say you can't eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve jumped. "You can talk." "Of course I can talk, but answer my question. Did God really say that?" Satan's opening move was brilliant. He didn't command. He questioned. He didn't push. He pulled. He made Eve defend God's rule, which forced her to think about it differently. "No," Eve said, relaxing. "We can eat from every tree except this one. If we eat from it, we'll die." The serpent laughed. Not mean, surprised, like Eve had said something silly. "Die? You won't die? Want to know a secret?" Eve leaned in. Everyone loves secrets. God knows that when you eat this fruit, your eyes will open. You'll see what He sees. Know what He knows. You'll be like gods yourselves. He paused, letting it sink in. "That's why He's keeping it from you." Eve's expression changed. "Keeping it from us. Look at it," Satan urged. "Really look." The fruit seemed to glow. Perfect, ripe, beautiful, knowledge hanging right there within reach. "God has everything," Satan whispered. "All knowledge, all power, all truth, and He's keeping you here naked and ignorant like pets. Don't you want more? Don't you deserve more?" Eve's hand moved toward the fruit, stopped, moved again. "Adam," she called. He came running. He'd been there the whole time, listening, thinking, wanting. They looked at each other, then at the fruit, then back at each other. Together, they reached out. The fruit came off easily, too easily, like it wanted to be picked. Eve bit first, then Adam, and paradise died. Not with a bang, with a bite. Their eyes opened, exactly like Satan promised. But what they saw wasn't beautiful. Shame, fear, death, separation. They looked at each other and saw nakedness for the first time. They looked around and felt fear for the first time. They heard God walking in the garden, and they hid for the first time. Sin entered the world through their choice, and Satan celebrated. He'd lost heaven, but he'd stolen earth. God had won the war, but Satan had won this battle. Or so he thought, because God spoke words that made Satan's victory shatter. God looked at the serpent and cursed him. "On your belly you will crawl. Dust you will eat." Satan smiled. He didn't care about that. But then God said something that made Satan's blood run cold. "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers." Satan's smile faded. "He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." A child, born from a woman, would crush his head. This wasn't over. This was just the beginning of a war that would last thousands of years. And Satan had just been put on notice. Somewhere, sometime, a child was coming, and that child would destroy him. From that moment on, Satan became obsessed. Every baby born made him nervous. Every pregnant woman became a target. He had to stop that promised child from coming. He had to win this war before it was too late. He struck through Cain, whispering jealousy into his heart until he murdered his brother Abel. First blood on earth. First death. First murder. If humans kept killing each other, maybe the promised child would never come. But babies kept being born. He entered Judas, one of Jesus' own disciples. Betray him. 30 pieces of silver. That's all it takes. He watched as they arrested Jesus, beat him, mocked him, crucified him. Satan watched Jesus die and he celebrated. The promised child was dead. The threat was eliminated. Hell threw a party. 3 days of celebration. The serpent toasted his victory. But on the third morning, everything changed. The tomb exploded with light. Not opened, exploded. The stone didn't roll away, it flew. And Jesus walked out, not limping, not weak, alive. More alive than anyone had ever been. Satan's smile died. The music stopped. Every demon froze. "No," Satan whispered. "Oh no, 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 no." But it was worse than just Jesus being alive. Jesus had gone into death itself, into Satan's own domain, into hell, and he'd taken the keys of death, the keys of hell, Satan's keys. Jesus had walked into the serpent's house and robbed him blind. That was 2,000 years ago, and Satan has been running out of time ever since. He can read. He knows exactly how his story ends. It's written in the Bible and he's read it 1,000 times. He knows he loses. He knows when. He knows how. And it makes him insane with fear. So what does a defeated enemy do when he knows his time is short? He tries to take as many down with him as possible. Right now, today, this very second, Satan is working. Not the scary monster under your bed. He's smarter than that. He uses the same trick that worked on him. Pride. You don't need God. You're fine on your own. You deserve better. The same poison that destroyed him, he now serves to you. In a cocktail called pleasure. In a pill called success. In a lifestyle called independence. But the Bible tells us exactly how Satan's story ends. And it's not even a fight. Jesus comes back. Not as a baby this time. As a king. The sky splits open like fabric being torn. Angels pour out like a flood. Every eye on earth sees him coming. Satan gathers every demon, every fallen angel, every human who chose his side. Millions of them, maybe billions. They cover the earth like locusts, the greatest army ever assembled. They have weapons beyond imagination, plans within plans within plans. They march toward Jesus, ready for the battle of eternity. Jesus speaks one word, just one, and it's over. No fight, no struggle, no close calls. Satan falls to his face unable to move. The demons scatter like roaches when you flip on a light. The evil army dissolves like sugar in rain. Then comes judgment. An angel, not even God himself, just one regular angel, grabs Satan by the neck. Just one. Drags him to a lake of fire. Not normal fire. Fire that burns forever but never burns you up. Fire that hurts but doesn't kill. Eternal, conscious, torment. This is for you, the angel says, and throws him in. The lake closes over Satan's head. Chains pull him down into depths that have no bottom, no escape, no parole, no second chances, forever. And the earth becomes what it was always supposed to be. Perfect, beautiful, free. No more tears because there's nothing to cry about. No more death because Satan can't touch anyone anymore. No more pain, no more suffering, no more separation from God. Pride started it all. Lucifer, the light bringer, chose darkness over light, rebellion over obedience, self over God. And that choice cost him everything. His beauty became ugliness. His light became darkness. His kingdom became a prison. Satan's pride destroyed paradise. But there's another story that changes everything. Here's what you need to understand. Satan's story is a warning. It shows us what happens when we think we're better than we are, when we think we don't need God, when we think we should be in charge. Pride destroyed the most beautiful angel in heaven. What makes you think it won't destroy you? Right now, Satan is using the same tactics on you that he used on himself. You deserve more. God is holding you back. You can be your own God. These aren't new lies. They're ancient, tested, proven to work. But here's the truth. Jesus crushed the serpent's head on that cross. He took the keys. He won the war. And he offers you something Satan never could. Forgiveness, purpose, freedom. Not freedom to do whatever you want. That's the lie that destroyed Lucifer. Real freedom. Freedom from pride, from sin, from the serpent's poison. Satan knows he's lost, but he wants to take as many humans with him as possible. Don't be one of them. The war is over. Jesus won. The question is, which side will you choose? If this story opened your eyes to spiritual reality, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. Subscribe to this channel for more biblical content that will challenge how you see the world. And drop a comment below telling me what shocked you most about Lucifer's fall. The battle for souls is real. The enemy is working. But Jesus has already won. The question is, are you on the winning side Hit that subscribe button right now, and let's continue uncovering the truth together.